Good morning, ATU 241-308 members. We are here today to give you an update on what's going on with the union. And we just left the 308 membership meeting that was canceled due to lack of quorum. My name is Robert Thomas. I'm bus operator 103rd Street Garage since 2016. And we have Eric Slater here who's going to speak, Eric Vizier, and some other members. Thank you.
Yes, I'll just briefly introduce myself and we'll go around. Okay, yeah, my name is Eric Slater. I've been a bus operator for something like 16, 18 years. I've been fired twice as soon as I became an executive board member and a board member for the Amalgamated Transit Local 241 for 3 terms. And I ran for president of the local in the last election, and I'm planning to run for president again in this upcoming election for Local 241. I came in second place for that election last election.
This is Brother Eric Vizier, Local 308, Union Rep and Hogan Man. Great honor to be with these awesome CTA workers. And we're having a meeting after the meeting. Even though the union presidents can send you home and say, you naughty people, we're not going to have a meeting because of X, Y, and Z. You have a right to meet with your coworkers anytime you want. That's what we're doing right now.
Hi, Chris Campese, car repair out of 98th Street shop. Kicked out of the union meeting. We didn't have enough people out there. I just want to encourage everybody, get out there. Let's make quorum. Don't let put the democracy, take democracy out of our hands and put it in the hands of the business unionists that we were under.
All right, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can here and hit on. I just found out yesterday. Obviously, I've been illegally fired, so I'm not on the properties. But some coworkers have sent me over copies of the documents. My understanding, and we're just now trying to get this information and sound the alarm of this serious situation. Obviously, changing the bylaws changes the structure of our organization. Even if we have misleadership at this time, it is still our organization that we can reform. And it looks like they're using the bylaw system to make it more difficult for us when we wish to use our organization. So just a few things here. I understand that they've put up these bylaws to the properties, but they have not done so properly, or it's been alleged. And they may have had a reading of the changes to the bylaws on November, but now they're having a vote on that, according to what we understand, on December 3rd. So the first thing to say is come to the union meeting at 1613 South Michigan. All 241 members come out and vote. And what I'm calling for is a vote no for all of these things. So I'm going to go over real briefly what the documents are saying. So the first one is there's a meeting requirement bylaw change. So what they're apparently trying to do is take away our rights to vote for whomever we choose. So remember, we're all adults, and we understand that the people who run for office have frailties. Myself and everyone else in this room does. And it's the adults of Local 241, and those people only make the decisions about which positive attributes and negative attributes of our candidates we wish. And what they're doing is making it so that people like myself and Robert, who've been illegally, the Chicago Police Department has been called improperly, maybe a few cops have been used to threaten us with arrest just for trying to pay our union dues and go to our union meeting. And now what they're doing is stopping us from being able to go to the union meeting to be able to vote against the bylaws, and which stopping us from running for office to potentially pull ourselves out of this corrupt situation where management really controls our local. So what is it saying? It's saying that they have to have a certain amount of meeting requirements. And as we know, well, maybe not that many people know, there's only a handful of people who come to the meetings now. Most workers are so frustrated. This is meaning a union of thousands and thousands of members. And only a handful of people come who are actually paid by the union officials to be there. So that they're basically about 15 to 25 of them, which are closely in their own clique. So this is a real attack against all of us that this happened. The second bylaw I would like to discuss briefly is what they're calling an assistant. I apologize if I make any of these wording incorrect. They're calling this an assistant, part-time assistant business, recording financial secretary. And so currently we have a recording financial secretary who does a lot of work, or should do a lot of work, and it's a huge amount of responsibility. And so what they're basically arguing is they need another person to help shoulder the road. But if you actually look at what's written, and I'll read it to you here briefly. So the assistant financial recording secretary treasurer position is an elected part-time position and shall serve to the extent that the president business agent and the financial recording secretary treasurer shall determine in their discretion. So what that means is that the two top officers get to choose whatever this person does. And furthermore, it says later here, and I'll read it again, it shall be the duty of this person will be the 20th position as a delegate to the International Convention. Eric and I have both been to the international conventions. We know how important those positions are. I've been to 3 of them. I've been to Toronto and 2 over in Nevada. This position will also be on the executive board. So think about it for a moment. If you actually read it, what that means is there's going to be a person under the thumb, no pun intended here, but under the thumb of the top officials. It's going to centralize the power of the top 2 officials. I've been on the board for 3 terms, and the board is supposed to function as a check, like a check and balance of the top officers, and we're supposed to actually put forward the business of the local. It has not been doing that, unfortunately, and it is even worse now that they don't even make minutes and report on what's going on. But now what they want to do is actually pad the executive board so they have somebody who's at the will of the top officers. So he or she will not get paid, will not go to work because they're a part-time official if they vote against the president or the recording secretary. The second problem I'd say is if you know about the history of Local 998 up in Wisconsin, the 2 recording secretary and president were at fists. They were fighting each other physically, and they trusteed that local, in my opinion, incorrectly, and forced out the officers. What happens if the 2 officers are not in agreement? Right? Is this person not going to do the work? Yep. The other thing I'll say is our previous recording financial secretary, Tor Bowers, she had an assistant. It is a lot of work. Many times people are thinking that it should be separated. 2 jobs, recording secretary and financial secretary. And that's what many locals have. And what we did the last administration, during the Keith Hill administration in Commonwealth, is they had, Mr. Pierce, correctly or incorrectly, was kind of her assistant. He was not elected. He did not have a position on the board. I'm sure he learned a lot of experience, but that was something which could be done. Instead, what they're doing is they're attacking the executive board. They're making a more centralized control, so management can just have to control 1 or 2 people, and they can threaten them and so on, and they have control of this extremely powerful organization. No, we need the opposite. We need rank and file, like Brother Eric here, or Chris, who are actually doing the work, who feel the issues, and can come to the executive board and reflect directly and immediately the interests of the membership, not some officials making over $100,000 who's very far away from the actual conditions of the ranks and can be, like I said, controlled. Last bylaw mentioned is and then I'll turn it over, is the CAM-AN, this Canadian American Conference. I don't know all the details. I've been to many of these conventions. It is a serious matter, international coordination between our locals, and this is one of the main reasons why we have an international, is so that we can coordinate with Canada and other transit workers around North America. So this is potentially very good, but this is not what is going on. The top officers of this local have no interest. They have no discussions about what's going on in our largest local in Toronto, for instance. The strike that we just recently had in Canada. They're not discussing this at all. They don't care. What this is about is getting themselves a vacation, right? So what does it mean? And if they don't want to go, they can give their friends in the executive board a paid expense ticket. And how much money? Ask membership. We should ask, how much is this? How much is the plane tickets and so on? I'm not saying this is wrong, but for this administration to change the bylaws. Remember, bylaws is changing everything for it. Not just this administration, but all administration. I'll say, the General Executive Board of the International, many people don't know this, they have to approve a bylaw change. So if they tell you, oh, we can just take it back, That's not true, because the General Executive Board can block the removal of the changes in bylaws. Remember, we came through trusteeship, they wrote our bylaws without asking us, right? So again, I'll repeat, this is an alarm because it's an attack against our rights. I know we feel like we should have people who are honest and come to work on time and come to their executive board meetings. They should do that. But that can be resolved through the election process itself. If you find that your board member doesn't bring the reports like Eric does, goes to meetings and so on, or like Chris did, or like I did, and it was responsive to your needs, you vote them out or you put charges on them. This is what this is doing. That is taking away the rights of the membership to vote for whomever they wish. Because it's directly attacking Robert, myself, and others who have been either improperly fired from CTA management, improperly blocked from paying our union dues. It's a direct attack against the election we just had. I had 500 votes. This is attacking 500 families who voted for myself. We got the second most votes for the election. Between myself and the three other candidates running against President Hill, this is attacking everyone who wanted Hill out. So his administration is very clear. This is a dictatorial maneuver going on around the world. Stop it, brothers and sisters. Stop them from taking away your rights to choose whoever you want. It's not my right, it's your right they're taking away. All right, brother, I'll switch it over. Oh, and December 3rd. Come to December 3rd, 10 o'clock meeting, 1613 South Michigan. You don't need to do anything. You just need to show up, be silent, put in a secret ballot. You can tell them you're voting for them and put something else in there, whatever you got to do. But exercise your right or it's going to be taken away from you. December 3rd, 1613 South Michigan, 10 a.m.
So it may not be a secret ballot. It may be
You're right.
a voice vote
Could be.
or a hand vote. And that's what they do, especially the anointed one, Keith Hill, is he wants to control the membership and control the Senate. I'm a local 308 member, executive board member since 2018. Dear local 241 members, you don't want this bylaw for meeting attendance requirements. They're going to tell you this, because we have it. We have it. Brother Chris and I will tell you. It is the number one obstacle to removing corruption. There's many obstacles, but it's the number one obstacle. Because when you have members that don't attend meetings, and then they're punished for it by not being able to run for office, it doesn't make the union better. What they'll say is excuses. And this is, I'm sure, what the anointed one and his other book-licking loyalists are saying. Well, see, if you don't go to the membership meetings, you don't know anything about the union. You don't know how to run things. You don't know how to do things. Well, let me tell you, local 241 brothers and sisters. We're in the same union, by the way. It's called the Amalgamated Transit Union. Let me tell you something. All you need to run for office is a heart, your co-workers, and your family and your friends. That's all you need. You don't need to be in office for 10, 20, 30 years and have good relationships with management. All you need is to have a heart of mercy and your co-workers, solidarity with each other and other workers. That's all you need. So local 241 members, you got it good. I have actually thought of applying for jobs in local 241, bargaining for jobs, just to be in your local because there's no membership meeting attendance requirements. It's so much easier to organize that way. We have that, and it's terrible. Come and vote no on what Keith, the anointed one, Hill is doing with these bylaw changes. He's not doing it to make the union better. He's doing it to stay in power because he is the Chicago Transit Authority Mismanagement's number one agent to keep us under control and to prevent us from doing what real unions do.
Okay, you should say something then, Robert.
Yeah, I'll say something. So members, this is serious. Me and Eric Slater, we've been banned from the union office. They told us if we show up again, they're going to call the police and arrest us for trespassing. Now, I've been a member since 2016, and Eric's been a member since before then. You know, these union misleaders, they're obsessed with power. They're obsessed with kicking out people who disagree with them and oppose them. Please come out. Please come out to the December meeting and vote these bylaw changes down. We don't need Keith Hill to be in office for 20 plus years. He's the #1 CTA guy. He works for the company. He doesn't work for you. Please come out and vote this down. Thank you.
Now, we just had a membership meeting at Local 308, and I wanted to share the experience with you. It was adjourned for lack of a quorum. And what that means is, in order for the union to conduct business, and that is to approve spending and go over grievances, you have to have a minimum of 25 members of good standing present. By the way, Brother Robert and Brother Eric were my invited guests to our meeting, and President Penny illegally expelled them. I quoted the ATU Constitution, Section 21.12, that all members of ATU have visiting privileges of other ATU voters. And she continued to say, it's only for 308 members. It's only for 3. I said, but the Constitution, nah. And she started raising her voice. And, you know, it was, I mean, Chris, would you be willing to talk about what you observed about that, her behavior regarding our guests? And
I can't even comment really succinctly about this because I don't understand what happened there. I saw donuts go into another room, enough for 25. There was cars parked there, at least 12 in the parking lot before any members showed up. I mean, Eric showed up this morning. So I almost felt as though there was something else, and we were just there bothering them.
Yeah.
And that's how I always feel in my own union. And that's not how we should feel. We should outnumber the people who are trying to take this away. We do.
Maybe it was some of their manager friends.
Well, they have done that. They
have hit managers.
They have done that. At our last meeting, they did invite the head of security to the beginning of our meeting before the meeting started. I will give them that. But we had the top person that would probably escort one of us out for wrongdoings, who we invited into our fucking house.
Yep. You can speak your mind.
But you don't do that in our fucking house. You don't bring the fucking manager into the house.
That was last
of
month.
Fucking union.
That was last
month. After that, I sit in the meetings, I attend the meetings. I don't want to see things like they're trying to do at 241 take us over more. Basically, they created it. We were living the hell that you guys are voting on in December. Okay, the meeting quorum. They discourage people from going to the meeting. I'm sure that's happening in your local as well. And then if you discourage people going from the meetings, you're only going to have a certain amount of people that they're basically going to appoint their own people to your executive board positions, your assistant executive board positions. And then when it comes time to vote for top officers, the same thing. You're not going to have a level playing field. Especially myself, I don't know how your schedules are on the bus side, but for years, for my family's sake, I worked the PM shift. All our meetings up until recently were on the PM shift. I couldn't go to a single meeting unless I took a day off from work. I know you guys have a different setup, but it's very difficult if you're on a certain shift, you work in certain areas, to even go to them. They located our meeting away from our north side brothers and sisters. At, what is it, 112?
Yeah, I mean, we're way far south.
I talked to people from them. There was only one guy at the one meeting one brother that came down from the north. Took him like 2.5 hours on a Tuesday night. It's not centrally located. It discourages half the membership from attending, especially when you have people. You find yourself working in Rosemont. You're young. You find a place to live here and stay there. And now you're going to drive from Rosemont and those suburbs down to Morgan Park. No, now you isolated whole membership.
It's by design.
And you can't even get to it by CTA bus.
Well, that's, yeah.
You gotta get a pace bus.
You got to get on a pace bus to get to it.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
But I just want to encourage you, don't let this get out of hand. Ours is way out of hand. We're going to sit here today and try to figure out how we get things back. But it's not going to go back that easy. We've got to do a lot of thinking on this.
You know, brothers and sisters, ask me Local 1215. That's a union for the Chicago Public Library workers. My son is a member. He has been, listen to me carefully, he has been to almost every single union meeting, but he never attended. What do I mean? Do you think I mean? Their meetings are in person and simultaneously online. And those members who attend online, they are credited with attending. They get the reports. They get the minutes on their email. They can vote in motions and all union business. This is for many unions. Local 241 and Local 308, we can have this. But we, the members, have to make it happen democratically by showing up. Now, we can elect people to run for office who will do these things. I know that's what I intend on doing, and I do it as a board member for my section, but also for my classification craft. And I also open it up to 241 members and everybody who's interested. But you don't have to wait for that necessarily. Now, Local 241 members, if you let the anointed one put this meeting attendance requirement for running for office, I don't think you'll ever have any chance of online meetings, online versions of meetings, where you'll have a say. The other bylaw about the delegate,
The assistant recording financial secretary.
assistant recording financial
Part-time
secretary.
assistant.
Yes.
Assistant.
So this will be another control cloud position. And the anointed one has been doing these kinds of things, but this will now concretize it and give him more control. All right? So you're going to have another salary to pay. And trust me, if you have a problem with the president, you're not going to get that spot. Especially if you need meeting attendance requirements. The other one regarding the vacation holiday, which I like how you put that, Eric. In Local 308, President Penny, out of order and run him over Dixon. They love to take members off work who they trust and they like to go to these kinds of things for a day. You don't need that, brothers and sisters. Going to these conferences isn't going to make our union stronger. What makes our union stronger is that you have knowledge and you can organize and you have stewards for every location and every shift where you can fight management head to head and toe to toe, where when the managers see the union rep, they don't get happy, they get angry and get rocks in their jaws. Yeah, here comes that union rep. Oh God. See, that's what we need to be spending our money on. I just love it. There's not a single manager who sees me when I show up, he wants to hug me, kiss me, wave to me. They're like, oh God, he's here. Somebody call the police. But that's good, brothers and sisters. You need that. Okay? One last thing about the quorum, okay? According to the Bylaws, if you read section 26 of the Local 308 Bylaws, it says the meeting can be adjourned. I want you to look that up in the dictionary. The word adjourn means to rest, pause, or temporarily end the meeting. So that means, nowhere does that say that the members have to take action. They can't, because there is no quorum to take action. But you, the president, can still hold a meeting. It doesn't say you can't hold a meeting. Just the members can't take action on decisions made by the executive board. That's it. And, you know, to sit there and send everybody home, it's like she wants to punish us. And out of order and run them over. Dixon did the same thing. Ken Franklin did the same thing. They all do the same thing. Look, not only that, but the president can call a special meeting according to section 11. The president can say, oh, you know what? Okay, we don't have a membership meeting right now because it's no quorum. So we're going to have a special meeting. Yeah, it says it right here in the bylaws. Okay? And if you look at Robert's Rules of Order, it's the same thing. You can still have a meeting. But all the decisions, you can still have your reports. But all the decisions made by the executive board. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, just a few points to add to that. In 241, something I've been calling for a long time. When we do have some money for this, if we're going to spend money for assistant financial secretary, we should spend money for assistant stewards. And 308, you guys, I understand you guys have assistant stewards. I know it's a complicated issue, but this is, I mean, I've been a board member for between 400 and 600 families myself, just the only board member and one steward at North Park Garage for about 10 years. And we're overwhelmed. It's a part-time position, literally. I drive a bus 3 days a week, 4 days a week. Yep. I get off the union for the one day, and what am I doing? I'm defending workers against management's unjust attacks in hearings. But the work of the union is primarily done through the shop steward system. And so I think the immediate thing we could be doing is having more of the membership participate in the actual leadership of the organization, and then actually have meetings with stewards. Talk from 103rd, 308, Kenzie Garage, all the different work locations, maintenance. Talk about what management's doing, how we're pushing back, what are our rights, what's the contract, teach the contract to each other, and go over and as this happens month by month, it starts to become a de facto strike committee. Because it's the way the membership communicates with the ranks communication with leadership, and now when you're actually preparing for a full-blown strike, if we're prepared for it, now you have an organ that's not just top-heavy, controlled by management, now you have an organ that actually can make decisions quickly among the 10,000 families, 15,000 families that we represent, and then a periphery of family members and community members, which is perhaps 500,000 in Chicago. And that's what's required in a strike. And they want to go the opposite way. What they want to do is further centralize the authority so just a few corrupt people, by the way, I didn't even mention it, but they talk about bonding this person. So we're going to pay for insurance. So if they steal, because they're expecting them to steal money from our local, so they want to bond another person. So when if and when they were to steal the funds of our union dues. I don't want to be cynical about it. I want to be serious. We can transform our organization. And the big thing to say here is, I'll repeat, this is about not just now, but and not just our union, but the working class generally feels some strength that we're going on strike more, we're taking more mass actions as a class, not just the transit, not just ATU, but other means, but non-unionized workers. And so what these restrictive rules do is it handcuffs us when we actually come and take hold of our organizations and our families and we use them, because that's what they're for. And we should stop these false misleaders from doing this to us. And it's not just us, it could be our children, it's other workers we're going to be handing this union to them, right? By changing the bylaws, we're changing that organization forever, potentially.
Yep.
So don't do that. Come on December 3rd.
Yeah, December 3rd.
Come, just spend 20 minutes, get your ballot in, or if it's a hand vote, make sure your vote counts. Vote it down. At least put a message to these misleaders that they've got to stop.
Yeah. You should. I don't know if you all have noticed, but SEIU Local 73 president has been out there talking about how many city workers need a contract with good pay, good raises, and she has said she's talked to the mayor. The mayor's like, yeah, we just don't have the money, and we heard President Penny this morning. She said the same thing, right?
He gave the number down to the dollar.
Right.
Why do you know that number so well?
We know exactly.
She's representing the company.
Exactly. And what I want to tell these presidents of ours, and by the way, it's not just women, it's men too. It's not a man-woman thing here. It's just business unionism that I'm talking about. And I would love to, I wish these two sisters would come together and bring all of us together. Local 73, Local 308, Local 241. 1028, Base, and the others. And some of the others, right? CTU. Because we're all dealing with this contract right now. A whole bunch of railroad worker unions to start with. Ratified, tentative agreements. All of this is happening at the same time. We gotta meet together because we know we don't have any money. We're broke. You should just take this right here. We got a little 11%, a 12%, a 13%. Here's some crumbs from my big loaf of bread for you ungrateful slobs. I mean, this is how they think of it. They can give us 33%. 43%, 53%. If we come together as workers, unions collectively, because
The dock workers? Remember what just happened a few days ago?
I'm telling you, and my brother Chris and I were talking about this morning, and we kind of butted heads a little bit, but we agreed. It can be those who voted for Trump in the union, those who didn't vote for Trump in the union. We can erase all of that when we begin to fight together for our collective benefit, not for telling the members what we can't, what the CTA won't, what the city won't give us. That's what we want and how willing we are.